You guys have been featured in a bunch of, awesome spotlight programs and different playlists. You guys were on the Canadian Spotify Release Radar, the Amazon Music Canada's Breakthrough Artist Program, which is huge. Which one of those maybe had the most meaning, maybe for each of you or for you guys collectively, and what's that experience been like, sort of getting recognition in that way?
Yep. No one's ever asked that. So
I guess we can come up with the answer now.
Yeah, this is good. This is good.
Welcome back to a brand new episode of Innersleeve. I'm Cassius Morris. Joe Pacheco on the line. What's up, Joe?
Not much, my man. Recovering. Post-holiday food coma recovery.
That food coma recovery is a struggle, isn't it, man? So how many Christmas dinners did you have? Because I ended up having 2.
I had 2, but I would have to say I didn't overindulge. By the second one, I literally had just the entree and another little thing, and I was done.
Man, it's so tough not to go all the way out. I know we talked about Adele and her big weight loss. I think I'm gaining the weight she's losing, and I think it's all coming from the Christmas dinners that we had. But no, we definitely hope you guys had a great holiday season, and it's really good to be back right here on Innersleeve. Now, before we jump into the full meat of the show, just want to remind you guys that if you enjoy this program, please make sure to follow us on social media. We're on all platforms at SoundMojo, and on these platforms, we're posting On This Day in Music almost every single day, a little takeoff from the segment that we were doing on this show, which has been pretty fun, Joe, if I may say so myself.
Yeah, it's always a learning experience. Like you realize every day something happens. Every day someone's doing something or some historical event. And it's nice to look back and celebrate birthdays, some tragedies, sadly, and stuff. But I'm fascinated with music history and stuff.
Definitely would help us pass our music Jeopardy if we were ever in that situation. So maybe if we bring the trivia back, this will help us out. But definitely make sure to go watch out for that. And also click the subscribe button on YouTube and our audio platforms. We're available wherever you can find your podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, Apple. I mean, anywhere you can find a podcast, you can find Innersleeve. So make sure to check in with us and stay up to date with everything that we're doing.
And don't forget to leave us a nice review on Apple Podcasts.
100%. We love to see what you guys think of the show, and whatever you want to see in here is what we're going to tweak to put on the program. So definitely looking forward to your feedback. Today's guests on the program are none other than Daysormay. They're an awesome musical group out of British Columbia, Canada, and a very unique group as well. We talk with them about self-producing a lot of their music, collaborating with outside influences and producers while being independent artists who kind of like to take ownership of their own creative process, and much, much more. So this is a really good episode for all of the up-and-coming artists out there who I know are loyally watching SoundMojo. But before we jump into that, we do have a couple of news stories. Now, when we're talking about the modern day Christmas spirit, one of the staples in the past 20 years or so has to be Mariah Carey with her All I Want for Christmas Is You version. Joe, how many times do you think collectively as a society we've heard Mariah Carey do these songs on the radio at Christmas?
Oof, I don't know, man. It's a hard number, but we're gonna try.
Too many.
Yeah, it's definitely a staple, that's for sure.
Unreal when you really start looking at the breakdown, which we actually have right here. So this article came out on Digital Music News, wondering how much does Mariah Carey actually make when it comes to Christmas season with her Christmas music. So a couple of statistics here. A definitive answer to the question is that Mariah earns approximately $600,000 to $1 million every December from just royalties alone. Yeah. However, there's more than just the royalties, right, Joe?
Yeah, that's it, right? There's all kinds of deals, right? They have Apple. She had an Apple TV special, which she made apparently $8 million from. 5.7 million Christmas album sales, and 71 million streams yearly. So, which, we equate to they equate here to about $710,000. And what I found really interesting is when you compare the two rates between Spotify and Apple Music's rates. So Spotify was 0.0037 per stream, which, made her about $262,000. But at just 0.1 of a stream for Apple Music, she netted almost 3 times that amount. So can you imagine,
0.1 of a penny, folks.
Yeah. So can you imagine at an artist who's just, maybe gets their million streams a million streams is not going to give you much at 0.0037. So it's a big difference, and it's like percentages of a penny, right? So that definitely was an eye opener for me reading this. And you can imagine, like, there's Amazon, there's Twitch, there's Deezer, all the other services that have different rates for streaming, right? So it's pretty crazy to nail down the exact figures, but these guys have done a pretty good job. And another interesting thing was the song came out in 1994. So a 2017 report from The Economist estimates that All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey earned her $60 million between 94 and 2016. So
wow.
That's $60 million, man. That's
so all the memes online, there's 61 million reasons why Mariah Carey doesn't care about the memes.
Yeah, and I didn't even mention the McDonald's menu deal, $5 million. That's what it is. When you're at that level, right, you can command those sort of prices. And, everybody, it's not like, I don't know, I guess it's just become such a natural thing, like hearing Bing Crosby's White Christmas and like Mariah Carey's All I Want Is You. It's just... Yeah,
and not the worst version. I know it gets a lot of flack, but it's catchy and it's on there for a reason,
Well, it's been covered by quite a few people, right? CeeLo Green, My Chemical Romance, Kylie Minogue, Mumford Sons, many more, Ariana Grande. So, it's there for a reason, and they keep perpetuating it by covering it, right?
This is the truth. So to answer our question from the beginning, about how much does Mariah Carey make every December? The answer is in royalties, just about $1 million. But in total, what she makes off everything she's been doing in December, it's a conservative $16 million roughly every single December that is being netted by Mariah Carey. So listen, hats off, imaginary hats off to Mariah Carey. I wish I was commanding that salary, and I hope she's hiring, actually, because I don't know, Joe, maybe we could start a Mariah Mojo and have our own little side gig here.
Yeah, and we just have to work maybe 2 months out of the year, right?
Exactly. Just a Christmas special is all we need.
That's it.
Moving over to the world of metal, we have an awesome story coming from the Ozzy Osbourne camp. The Prince of Darkness himself has just announced his exclusive NFT line dubbed Cryprobatz, which is going to be releasing 9,666. Joe, could you have called that number?
No, but when I read it, it made perfect sense.
It makes perfect sense. 9,666 unique NFT bats, giving collectors and fans a chance to own a piece of art history. Now, this obviously comes from Ozzy biting the head off the bat. Am I right here?
Yeah, that's the idea. And what's a funny story is that he says he's been trying to get in on the NFT action for a while, and even asked Sharon for a Bored Ape for Christmas. But imagine, even the Prince of Darkness couldn't get a Bored Ape.
Even the man himself.
So after many failed attempts of buying his own, she said no. So I decided to create my own. What I find really intriguing about this one is it's the way it's set up. It's like, what's an NFT? We always want to know what are the use cases for an NFT. So in this case, they combine a feature of two separate projects, making them very rare and collectible on their own. So it can take a bite and mutate with another NFT on their on users' Apple wallets. So I was like, well, I've never heard of that. That's weird,
So you can mix it with a Bored Ape, so to speak.
Yeah, so here it is. Cryprobatz can bite one other NFT that is held in the same wallet. So if you have a Bored Ape Yacht Club or Subducks, Crypto Toads, and a fourth mystery project that hasn't been revealed yet, if you have that in there, you can make that your Cryprobatz bite off one of those NFTs. I have no idea how that works, dude. This is like going crazy at this point, But
this is the whole other level.
It doesn't say anything how expensive they're going to be or what they're listing at. I know it starts in mid-January, 2022. And Ozzy also plans to launch another NFT project in Q1 called Ancient Bats. The treasure hunt for ancient bats is reserved for Cryprobatz holders. So if you have the first one, then you'll automatically be able to get into the second one. Each ancient bat can bite up to 100 times, giving them the ability to spawn 100 mutant bats NFTs from another NFT collection. So basically, it's a way to own an NFT, and then by it biting another NFT, it mints a new NFT. So it's interesting. I'm definitely going to keep my eye on this one.
I mean, it's awesome to see too a guy like Ozzy really staying ahead of the curve. You know, I mean, he's not really the type to wait until something is fully mainstream. I think guys like Oz, the reason they're still around and we're still talking about them is because they jump on the next big trend as it's coming up. And definitely, I think a sort of a telltale sign of Ozzy and team's resourcefulness and sort of staying on it.
Well, the thing is that that's a key word is what you said is team, right? And look like a Mariah Carey, right? Or we spoke about, we can, you know, when you're at that level, you can command a lot. You know, your stuff is just going to hit a bigger audience and you have more potential. So I don't think Ozzy's going to have any trouble selling 9,000 NFTs. I don't know what they go for. But see, the fact that you can already create another one by it biting another NFT is already making you extra, right? So it's like it's bringing value to the first NFT that you bought, you know? So,
and it keeps the royalties going, right? Like you keep getting a residual if it keeps selling to other people.
See, that's why I'm not sure how this one works. This may just be a one, I don't know, like, because you have smart contracts that go into it. It all depends. You never know. We don't know exactly the full details, but this is definitely something we're going to, you know, keep our eyes on and see how it develops. I'd love to know is if anybody out there would love to buy, would be interested in buying some of these, let us know, you know, and if you did, definitely let us know. We'd love to hear what your thoughts are on it.
As mentioned off the top, we have some awesome guests for you today. We're going to go over to our podcast with Daysormay, who is a three-piece. I mean, how would you even describe this group, Joe? Is it indie rock? Is it alternative? I mean, so many different styles.
Yeah, I never actually, to be honest, I never really thought of it, but I think all of the above, sort of, right? There's like elements of everything in their music. There's some aggressive stuff. There's some EDM sort of like qualities, and there's some pop stuff, and there's, I would say all of the above, man.
Definitely a big musical fusion. And, you know, one of the things that really stood out to me about Daysormay and is why I really wanted to have them on the show is that they do a really good job of two things. One, they're very good at picking producers and knowing when is the right time to use one. The other thing is they're very good at independently putting things together. They have tons of videos on their YouTube channel of live performances from their apartment and just stuff that's self-recorded and self-engineered, which I think is really, really cool, Joe, especially in today's day and age. I mean, you don't really need a studio and a full engineer for every single thing.
Well, I came from that background, so I can definitely resonate with them. And like, they're very do-it-yourself. And we get into it in the interview. Very talented, you know, young guys that like don't take anything for granted. I don't think they just, you know, they're very open-minded, very hardworking. You know, like they know the value of the time and the effort that they've put into their music. You know, it's like you'll see, there's no strangers into rewriting songs or reworking songs that they put on the back burner for a year or two and then getting back to it and getting that spark again and say, okay, yeah, let's go with this. Even if it doesn't go all the way, they're like, oh, we just moved it a bit further. We'll leave it here. And maybe in a year or whenever, they'll get back into it. I thought that was very interesting.
Exactly. Yeah. Never rushing the project. It's almost like you have to work with the song on its terms rather than trying to make the song work on your terms.
Yeah, well said, man. Like I always say, the song, like when you're, you know, let's say you've written and recorded a song and you're at the mix stage, I find the song just navigates where you should go if you just sort of let it do its thing, you know? So that's kind of what you said, you know, like just with the song, work with the song, you know? It's like it could be in 6 minutes you're done, and it could be in 6 months you're done, you know? You just don't know.
It's so true and very interesting for all the artists out there, like I mentioned. So definitely stay tuned for this episode. We're going to roll it right now, and you're going to find out some awesome stuff about these guys, and we'll be back right at the end with a few takeaways.
Yeah, I know it hurts, and I'd wear my heart on my sleeve, but I don't want to get blood on this shirt. We're sorry that it's got to be everything you feared, even worse. Don't make a fuss now, everybody's got to push through the mud.
We're back with another incredible guest right here on Innersleeve. It's a pleasure to be joined by all three guys from the group Daysormay. We've got Aidan, Nolan, and Carson on the program today. Guys, what's going on?
Hey, man. Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah, 100%. Really cool time for you guys because I know that you have the record that just came out, but also some video content. I know you guys have been very active on social. I mean, maybe walk us through just sort of what's been going on for Daysormay for the past month or two.
Yeah, we've been, it's been cool to have the album up finally. And like, so we've been kind of just enjoying that feeling. But yeah, the video and everything was, it was cool. It was like a big kind of experiment in visuals and trying to, you know, figure out a way to just make something, a way to kind of execute like ideas better, I think was the idea, and trying to see the best way to like communicate an idea from the original thought to the final product. So yeah, that was really fun. And we've just been kind of messing around, experimenting for the past month or two, just working with some other artists and working on some new stuff ourselves. So it's been fun.
Very cool. So I know the song 25, I mean, sort of maybe a song that people in their youth could maybe understand a little easier. And I'm sure something a lot of people have related to. Sort of what was the process like for putting that track together?
Yeah, I mean, that song in particular started, I think Aidan started that like maybe January 2020.
Maybe.
And so we were basically just like looking for songs to finish the album. And we stumbled upon the instrumental that Aidan made. And he just kind of sang a cappella over this like simple instrumental, and just the words kind of hit for everybody. And then we just decided to like really go in on the production and some arranging and a little bit more songwriting. And the song kind of like ended up almost where it is now, within like the first day of the three of us just going in on it.
Wow.
And then that last 15 to 20% of the song was like so grueling, and just so much back and forth between like us and Steve, the producer, who produced most of the album with us. And we just, really nitpicky stuff, but like, it was a fun process. It was, I mean, tough at sometimes, not that fun at sometimes, but that was kind of the whole process.
If I may ask, are any of you 25, older, younger?
We're all 22.
Yeah, we're all 22.
22. So what does it mean for you? Like the lyrics, the content of 25, like were there unrealistic expectations placed on you guys? Did you feel that way?
Yeah, but placed on myself by myself, I think.
Self-imposed kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't feel the same way now as I did when I wrote the song, which I'm glad about. But I think writing the song was enough to be like, to say it and just get it out there and get it out of my system a bit. So I still, have maybe a lingering feeling of it, but it's not as strong anymore.
How about from a sort of drums and bass perspective in terms of putting the track together? I mean, is it one of those things where you have a pretty straightforward method in terms of how you write, or does it vary a lot from song to song and the content?
I think it varies quite a bit.
Yeah.
Because like when we're writing songs, most of the time we're like in Ableton, just like on a computer. So it's like pretty much like the whole thing of like, I'm the bass player, Carson's the drummer, Aidan's the singer, kind of just like falls away. And we're all just like working on the song. Like whoever will have like, oh, it's like, I have an idea for the bass, or like I have an idea for the drums, and they'll just like do it and we'll talk about it. So it's like, I don't know. It's like we're like hip hop producers almost in a way sometimes of our own music. And then like we like learn how to play it.
Do things change afterwards? Do you guys find that when you're actually playing the stuff or, jamming in a room, do you change things and say, oh no, this works better this way, or yeah?
Yeah, usually. And just like trying to translate it to a live setting. Especially 25, we've been trying to figure out a way to do it better live, because some stuff just doesn't translate as much as you think it would, I think. So, it's like an ongoing process of discovering that, oh, maybe I need to change this. And
you mentioned Ableton. Do you all work in the same session or separate sessions at your own places and then share files? How does that work?
So thankfully we all live together. So it's just the same session. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And you guys are brothers, right? Nolan and Carson?
Yeah, we're twins.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I got to throw maybe it's a stock question or a typical question you're asked a lot, but what's the dynamic like, especially all living together, sort of? Is it what you would expect, different than you would expect?
I think it was pretty close to what I expected. Like, I mean, I've lived with Nolan for my entire life. So like we had already like ironed out a lot of the issues.
You knew what to expect.
I knew what to expect him.
Yeah.
And Aidan we've been friends for like since we were like 7. So I don't know. I think it was a pretty easy transition living together. Obviously, there's things, with living with anyone, it's just like there's things that come up, but it's been really productive and really fun. And honestly, like I don't think we would have had the album the way it is or any of the videos or any like thing like that if we weren't living together.
Yeah.
Interesting. Are you like a third brother in a sense, Aidan, or how exactly does that work?
I think so. Their dad calls me third son. So yeah.
And you guys you sort of grew up together. Were you musical as kids, or was this something that sort of crept in later, I wonder?
Yeah, we met when we were, I think, roughly like 7 years old, and then we started playing music when we were 10 together. So it's been a long time. I mean, it was pretty bad music, but like we were playing music. So it's been a long time working on this.
Did you guys like start with covers or like just let's write music?
Yeah, it started with covers.
Yeah, like Green Day covers, and then
I was just gonna ask, what was the first song you guys jammed together?
I think it was a Green Day song.
It was most likely,
or Seven Nation Army, probably.
Actually, it was probably that. It was probably that.
Okay, that's a staple. It's got to be in at least the top 5, right?
Oh yeah.
For sure.
And are you guys involved in, because I've seen you sort of post hip hop related stuff sort of on social media. Do you guys have a very wide scope of music that you like? Because I mean, just listening to you guys' stuff is very, very diverse. A lot of different stuff going on there.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I think we listen to, we'll listen to anything. I think there's only good music and bad music. So I don't really, and that's subjective. So I'll listen to anything. So I think we're always trying to find like the next thing we can mix into the sound and trying to, just keep it fresh and stuff. So I'm pretty open-minded to it.
All different types of things. That makes sense. And you guys have been featured in a bunch of, awesome spotlight programs and different playlists. You guys were on the Canadian Spotify Release Radar, the Amazon Music Canada's Breakthrough Artist Program, which is huge. Which one of those maybe had the most meaning, maybe for each of you or for you guys collectively? And what's that experience been like, sort of getting recognition in that way?
Yep. No one's ever asked that. So
I guess we can come up with the answer now.
Yeah, this is good. I don't know if one means more than the other. The Amazon Breakthrough Artist thing was like pretty awesome, and like that was obviously a really special feeling. But I think it's been nice to just, not like we're searching for any sort of like big award or anything like that, but it's like, it sometimes does feel like, like maybe we are onto something, like maybe people do actually like this, and it's not just like the three of us just making like music we want to hear, like maybe people are connecting to the words and like the instrumentation and, can dance to it and stuff. So I think it was a bit of reassurance, maybe. Yeah. More than anything. Because sometimes, just especially just like when it was like lockdown and we were like just working on the album, at times it felt like it was like, are we onto something? Like, are we actually doing something cool? So to come out on the other side and like have some, recognition with that kind of stuff, it was like, it was like a full circle moment a bit, just to be like, maybe we are onto something, and, let's like keep going and just keep getting better.
Yeah.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And, wondering about the sort of DIY aspect of it, because I know you guys do a lot of stuff on your own. You do a lot of sort of live sessions from your place. How much would you say is sort of do-it-yourself stuff, and how much would you say you guys collaborate, if you had to maybe do a percentage of each?
Percentage, probably, I would say like 70 to 80% is DIY. And then,
wow.
And then that's about maybe 75, 80. Because with the videos and stuff, like we have a couple of friends that, help us shoot it and, and know a lot more about cameras and angles and lighting and stuff than we do. But then we still have to edit it and make everything work and do the promo stuff, like the graphics and stuff. So it's, we're pretty DIY.
Pretty DIY.
Is it by choice or because like it's just, you've always done it that way?
I think it's like maybe a bit of both. I think it's mostly because like it's like, okay, well, we just like, well, yeah, a lot of it's like I think the want for like creative control, and then also we just kind of have to do it ourselves a lot of the time.
Yeah. It started out of necessity, and then it kind of just kept going. And then, occasionally someone will, on the label or something will ask us if we want help with something. And I'm so used to kind of us doing it that we just do it anyways.
It's just like habit at this point.
Yeah. I'm sure that'll change eventually, but I'm enjoying the creative control for sure.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And I mean, when you're doing obviously anything on your own, especially a craft at this level, there can definitely be things that jump up that maybe you wouldn't expect. And, we have a lot of independent artists who watch this. So maybe what's one thing in terms of making your own music yourself that you wish you would have known earlier, that you discovered sort of as you started down that road?
I think when you're in like a meeting or a room with, say, like your label or your team or something, and we kind of had this recently where people want to talk about your songs and they want to tell you to change parts of your songs or like rework some things, and you feel like you can't trust your ideas and that kind of stuff. Thing for me was realizing like those people are there together in that room because of your ideas, and because of what you've already done. And, obviously, take advice if you feel like it's the right thing to do. But if you're feeling like, if the uncertainty, if you're feeling like, strong doubt and uncertainty about stuff like that, I think that was just a helpful thing for me to remember, was that like, we're the reason some of these people even know each other. So, just trusting in yourself and trusting your gut with, especially with creative decisions.
Everything's so good now, we're doing just fine. So when I break down, everyone will know why. I'm trying to help you, don't want us to die. You got me confined. Everything's so good now, we're doing just fine.
But I was just wondering, how many like unfinished songs do you guys have? In the catalog at this point, right? It's like you save your session and you move on to the next one, kind of thing.
Too many.
Yeah.
The next album's already done.
Like as long as we can finish the songs, then we're good.
We have gone back recently through like old demos or songs we didn't finish in the time that we were making this album that didn't make the album or whatever. And there's actually a lot that's pretty cool that we thought was pretty bad. So it's nice to like go back with like super fresh ears after like probably a couple years on some of it.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh yeah, maybe this idea is actually cool. We just didn't execute it right. Or we just didn't like fully flesh out the idea.
Yeah. Some songs they only need a little bit of time. And some need like, for some reason, unfortunately, some need like 3 or 4 years. So
Some write themselves, and some just, they're just waiting for the right timing.
Yeah,
Totally.
exactly. Yeah,
exactly.
How do you determine that though, when you're going back? Is it just whether or not the vibe still catches you, or is there sort of other aspects in terms of knowing a song is maybe usable, even though it's, a year or two old?
Mm-hmm. I think it's just a bit of a feeling.
Yeah.
When you just go back and you're excited again and you're like, oh, maybe like this could happen here, or like you automatically have ideas. I think that's a sign to like even follow it down the rabbit hole, even if it stops again, even if you don't finish it, it's always worth going down the rabbit hole. Because you never know like when you could stumble upon like gold.
Yeah.
What's the schedule like? You guys wake up, start writing, go to bed once you're done? Like how do you guys work out your day?
We don't have a schedule. It's so random.
Day by day.
Pretty much. Yeah, man. It's, lately it's been a lot of like sessions in the evening that go late. And then we try to recover from that the next day and stuff and keep going. So right now we're kind of working on a bunch of things at once. So it's pretty scattered, and we'll just, fit stuff in when we can fit it in, basically.
You guys mentioned your producer, Steve Bays, who's, worked with a ton of different artists, Diplo, Steve Aoki. I mean, the list goes on and on. What are sort of some pillars in terms of Steve's work that really make him a good producer, a good fit for you guys? And sort of what's that experience been like with him?
Yeah, he is so, like, first of all, just the nicest guy ever. But also the hardest worker of, like, he was outlasting all of us. Like, he will start.
How's this guy still going?
Yeah. He'll start at 11 a.m. and go to 4 or 5 a.m. straight. Just
wow.
He'll be like, oh, I'm tired. And then he'll just have a snack and just be back in. He just
ready
knows.
To roll.
Exactly. Yeah. And he just has a very nice, childlike curiosity. And he's always willing to go down a rabbit hole, even if it's just one sound. He's like, no, that sound could be cooler. Or it's just that one little snare could be cooler. He'll go for an hour.
Yeah. It seems like he'll never get discouraged. I feel like I was if I were in your shoes and I was looking trying to make this synth sound cool for an hour and a half, I probably would have stopped. I'm I really commend you for being able to be not really happy about it for a super long time and then finally stumble upon something within the same day. Yeah.
He's relentless.
Very relentless. Yeah.
Man.
You guys, you mentioned a lot of the do it yourself approach. So what do you bring to him, or how does it work when you meet up with somebody like a producer?
Yeah, we bring him, we usually just bring him a demo, or sometimes it's really rough. Sometimes it's a lot more fleshed out. And then we deconstruct it a bit with him and into his own session. And then it's kind of if it's already more developed, it'll be replacing sounds with better sounds, or redoing vocals and, beating things. But sometimes we just really build it from the ground up, and sometimes we won't know what to do with it, and then we bring it to him and he solves it, basically.
Yeah, help us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's cool though. It's sort of like we say, building the plane as you fly it kind of thing.
Yeah.
Does any of the demos or some of the guitar ideas or your vocals end up in the final mix?
Yeah. The trend, I think, especially has a lot of demo. I think all the guitars are most of the guitars are from the demo, and a lot of the sounds are just the original sounds. And there's some vocals in there too, I think. So sometimes it's just can't recreate it with the same feeling that it gave you the first time. So
magic.
Yeah.
I might be wrong, but I think every song on the album probably has at least one thing from the demo still in it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because, I've heard this term, and, for lack of a better term, some artists have called it demoitis, where basically they get stuck into the demo and they can't really move past that and grow the song. Have you ever experienced that maybe, or?
A lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
And Steve was really good about being no, I think you have demoitis. Let's just live with this new sound or this new arrangement for a bit. We can always go back. And he was right quite a few times. Yeah. But it's a real thing, it's if you didn't I don't know, an example, coffee at first, when you first tried it, and eventually over time your taste developed and you're oh, coffee's the best. I think that's what it is. You've just heard the demo so many times. And you're just oh, this is the right thing to do, even if there is something better.
It's already sort of burnt into your mind at that point.
Yeah.
Interesting. Man, this is cool because I know that the independent artists watching this will definitely, take a lot out of it. A cool thing for you guys also is that you're moving back into sort of the live event space, sort of slowly but surely. Just curious about that. We talked a little bit about sort of fleshing these new songs out in the live environment. What's that been like, especially after such a long shutdown of these things?
Yeah, I think it's, we are practicing for some live shows coming up in the new year. And we are really trying to hone in on that live feeling, trying to change certain parts of the recorded song to like make it feel a bit more live. And, you know, referencing some artists, like solo artists who have like really tight session bands. And we're like, oh, like our instrumentals live need to be like that tight. So it's actually a cool, I mean, it was a really long break and it was tough to not be playing live a lot, but it has like, I think been a nice like step back, and now we can come back into it and be really focused with it. And just, we know we have to like top everything we've ever done. So I think it's, re-energized a bit.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys have played with other musicians live, or it's just the three of you guys live?
It was just three of us.
Okay.
And we used backing tracks and like sampling and stuff to make it work. Yeah.
That's cool. What, like, you know, since you guys are pretty much up and coming in terms of like in the industry, we usually reserve this question for like artists that have been there or are more established over the last 20 years. But like, what is it like being an artist today in the music industry? Because you guys are like, this is your era at this point.
Tough question, man. I think it's, I don't know. I think it's tough.
But I also think it's exciting.
Yeah.
Like, I think, I mean, it's a bit of a, you know, double-edged sword, but, you know, everything is at your fingertips now. You know, you can put your song on Spotify for free. So, and, you know, you have free promo basically on social media. But that being said, there is a lot more noise out there. So it's a bit weird at times. And sometimes it's like, oh, like, why am I making this video like on TikTok, even if it has nothing to do with the music? But I think, it's exciting, but it's also, like Aidan said, kind of tough just because there is that, it's more accessible for a lot of people.
It's easy to get, it's very easy to get overstimulated, I think, with it. And because you're kind of supposed to always be on social media and stuff, I think a lot more people, I mean, myself included, but that we know, other artists that we know, people just get burnt out faster, I think. So, I think the next kind of thing is everybody figuring out a better way to balance it and still be able to have a career. So like you said, double-edged sword.
Yeah, well, because you guys you have the do-it-yourself approach. You like to have a bit of that control, but at the same time, you have so much more responsibilities. You got to post on 17 platforms. You got to, you know, you got to make content, and that's one's square, one's vertical, one's this. So it's a lot of extra work. Does it take away from the music? Like, do you sometimes find yourself, man, I just want to write music and just focus on this?
100%, man.
Sometimes I just want to go to a cabin in the woods, like throw my phone in the ocean, like.
Been there.
Yeah. But, you know, like a break like that will come when we're ready to do like a really focused retreat or like write and just really be focused away from our phones. But I think it's just about finding a personal balance with it, you know?
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like I'm just a content creator or just a video editor or something. Like it can kind of mess with you. So I have to no, I'm a musician, make music, you know? So.
Yeah, it's definitely a sort of a new space, and interesting to hear how you navigate that challenge. How about the future for you guys? You know, who are maybe some artists or even producers that you would really like to work with one day, maybe like a bucket list kind of thing?
Producers, I think we have a huge list.
Yeah.
But to name a few, I mean, BJ Burden, Ricky Reed would be cool. Rick Rubin.
Oh yeah.
Who else?
Album of the year coming up here if you got these guys.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Johan Lennox is awesome.
Oh yeah.
Also an awesome artist. So you know, that would be a great collaboration because he's an artist and a producer. I don't know. Also, like our friends, like Anna Sophia, who's from Toronto, would love to collaborate with her, or a young friend who's from Vancouver, where we're living. Just, you know, collaborating with friends, just friends who we love their music and we're great people. And it doesn't necessarily have to be someone totally famous, but like Rick Rubin would be crazy.
Along the same lines of questioning, what about like venues? Is there any, or countries? Or is there any tours or shows you'd like to be a part of or always dreamt of?
Yeah, I think like the dream venue is Red Rocks probably.
Oh yeah,
That's a good one.
Have you ever seen a show there?
No.
I've seen
one
many,
day. Though.
I've never seen one there, but like it's always like, oh, I want to get there. I want to get there one day.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, we hope that happens for you guys, and just keep pushing, keep kicking ass, and you're well on your way.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
100%. Aidan Andrews, Nolan Bassett, and Carson Bassett are Daysormay. The album Just Existing is out now. The music video 25. We want everybody to go check that out. And of course, check out on April 2nd the show with the Arkells. Is that right, guys? That's coming up?
Yes. Yeah, really excited for that one.
Definitely. That's very exciting. And gentlemen, thank you so much for taking the time, and keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks so much.
I want to give a big shout out to the guys from Daysormay for joining us on this episode of Innersleeve, and a huge shout out to Indoor Recess for helping us facilitate this. Joe, for me, one of the things I notice about these guys is I think it's super apparent that they did grow up together and they were friends most of their lives. It almost seems like, I know the two of them are brothers, but it almost seems like three brothers in a strange way. And it's sort of a testament to how a friend can sort of become family in a certain sense.
Oh, totally. And you can see that they almost finish each other's phrases, thoughts, and obviously songs, right? They just work on stuff all together. So that's all the proof you need, right?
It's so true. And always cool to see a bunch of young guys getting together and making music, but also cool to see a bunch of young guys doing something that isn't hip hop, to be quite frank. I mean, like to see some guys coming together, actually playing musical instruments and stuff. I mean, do you think this is more rare nowadays, Joe, or is it just me maybe not being as in tune with it?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I just like I said earlier, I love their do-it-yourself approach. I love that I think that I like the fact that they're agnostic to any one thing. So they're like, we'll do this with a producer, but, we'll also do this on our own. We're going to want this way, but they're also like open-minded enough to like see where things should lead them or how they should react to certain things. I don't know if that answers your question at all, but that's
no, it's true. I mean, I think that they're definitely on their own independent wavelength. They're not chasing trends. They're not really chasing a current sound that's popping or hot now. So I definitely think that that's a good trait for longevity when it comes to the music business.
Yeah, I think, and I correct me if I'm wrong, besides Neoni, I think they're probably the youngest artists that we've had on the show. So
they must have been.
I think so, because I'm like, I was thinking about it. I'm like, they must be the youngest ones we've had. So like, I always have that question of what's it like being an artist in the industry today, and then we got to hear what it's like, and they don't take it for granted. They didn't come from a past background, and they know that things have changed for them. So they just know this is what it is. And this is what you got to do today, right? You got to know how to record, you got to know how to write, you got to know how to play an instrument, you got to know how to sing, video edit, social posting. So just for them, it's just business as usual, it seems.
Yeah, and definitely no blasé attitude about the whole business. They understand, yeah, exactly. You have to have your producer hat on, your marketing hat on, a bunch of different hats on to be a musician in this new day and age. And, maybe it's not for you if you don't want to do all that stuff, just frankly.
Yeah, but I think there's a place for everyone, right? In today's music, like there's something for the social butterflies that are always posting and are always engaging their audience, and there's others that's like they just want to create music, and there's an audience for that where it's just we don't need to have daily posts or for you to always stay in our in our social feeds and stuff. So like I think today we're lucky enough that it's so vast and so quick, the access to music, that there's an audience for everybody. And now it may not be million listeners a month compared to 1,000, but I mean, like there's something for everyone, I think.
I couldn't have said it better. And again, we really appreciate the guys for coming on the show, and we appreciate you guys for watching and listening to this podcast. If you did enjoy what you saw today, please click that subscribe button and leave a comment on YouTube. On our audio platforms, make sure to click that subscribe button as well and give us one of those 5-star reviews. We will not settle for 4 stars. We need 5. No, but actually, we definitely want to know what you guys think, so make sure to let us know. Keep watch for those YouTube community tab posts and polls as well. We put a bunch of those up. A great way to put input on our show. And of course, follow us on all social media at SoundMojo. We have On This Day in Music almost every single day. We have updates, polls, basically anything that we could put up in order to get in closer touch with you guys and hear what you guys want on this program. We will do it. So thank you so much for tuning in. Joe, did you have anything else?
I was just going to say, that sounds like a lot.
Yeah, seriously.
That sounds like a lot of
this
stuff.
Is your homework for tonight.
I know. And we didn't even mention the fact that there's, 2 to 3 videos of artists every week, music and stuff like that. That's a lot to offer on SoundMojo. And, we're doing our best, and we always want to know what you guys want more of, or who you want to see on the show, or what topics you'd like us to bring up on the show, So definitely let us know.
100%. We are very open to seeing your suggestions, and we will listen. So thanks so much again for checking in with us. We'll catch you guys next week.